G'day, everybody. Welcome to the show. Josh, g'day.
Okay. Good to be here. I mean,
Yeah.
I see you every day of the week pretty much anyway. But
Look, I love you too, mate, but that's okay. We'll talk about that later. What have we got tuned? What are people tuned in for today? What have we got happening?
episode 2. So we're serious podcasters now.
I'd like to think so.
We've managed to rope in a special guest and a
Not that special.
pretty key supplier and someone who's backed our business from the start. But there's probably a little family tie there, I would suggest. Less hair, better looking.
I don't know about this. Okay, I'm not sure where this is going, but yes, we do have a special guest. We've got Sean here from Dahlsens. Happens to be my brother, the favourite child, as we always joke about. I don't think it's a joke, to be honest. I think he is the favourite, but
I agree. To be honest,
we've just found our third episode, guys. We can talk about that. But thanks for being a part of it, mate.
No, really happy to be here, and thanks for having me. So you guys are a massive part of our business. So thanks for the call up, and look forward to getting into it.
You're welcome.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. How did it all begin? Take us back. What were you doing before GJ Warragul opened the doors, Shawnee?
That was meant to be to Josh.
I personally have worked with Dahlsens for a long time. We touched on it briefly in our previous episode, but I've come from doing my apprenticeship with a business that really worked closely with Dahlsens. We helped build and upspec their offices, and that's sort of where Trav and I first came across paths. I suppose me as a first year apprentice, Trav is the
Hardware guy I was as a guru.
kid in the timber yard.
Yeah.
I suppose it's probably a pretty interesting evolution of careers and sort of probably running almost parallel to a point without really even knowing it.
Correct, yeah.
Where was the store back then in the town?
We were in June Court back early days, early days. And then from there, obviously, with the changes to the Dahlsens exiting out of the hardware space and going more into the trade space, that's when they exited Warragul completely. And I went off and did other things in Melbourne, and obviously Josh Dora remained doing what he was doing, just in different relationships. But it all circled back to when we reopened the Warragul store in Pearce Street, which is where you guys are now.
Yeah.
And still are. So
it's probably a good point to touch on. The Dahlsens business, long-standing business in Warragul, and obviously exited for a period of time.
Yeah.
And really, I suppose when they came back was pretty well when we started to come online. I think Cam had been selling out of Traralgon to me as well at that point in time, because I was anti the other big suppliers in that space, I suppose you could say, and still am.
Green, I think you said Green, did you?
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
and I'd still been working with Cam for quite a while.
Yeah. I think you were building your house at that stage still, weren't you?
Building my house at that
Finishing
time. So he was supplying us a lot of stuff. He lived around the corner anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously Dahlsens made the move to come back into town. And obviously you two were in very different roles.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were. It would have been 10 years ago. We literally just had our 10 years this Feb just gone.
Yeah.
So it would have been.
Yeah, that's right. Dahlsens Warragul back 10 years. Yeah.
I suppose from your side, like Trav, talk us through where 10 years ago.
10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was working for Dahlsens actually in our Melbourne businesses, and I'd set myself a bit of a goal to be a branch manager. Warragul for me is kind of home. And when the conversation started with inside the Dahlsens business about getting back into the Warragul market and what that plan looked like, I started to really get, I suppose it really spiked my interest and went, okay, this could be that cycle of that plan that I had to be a branch manager at times. I was certainly working my way through to becoming that. As you touched on, Cam Green, local identity in Warragul, a character, some would say. A very big character, fair to say.
Yes.
Him and I known each other for I don't know, 25 years, primary school. We actually work really well together, and we've I suppose both shared that same mindset and mentality about success and making it work and coming back. And again, Cam's father, Noel, again, a very big local identity in the building and hardware space. He gave me my first go in the building and hardware industry back in 2006. Yeah. So, there's we could talk about this for hours around deep-rooted connections and relationships, partnerships, if you like. But, that's where it was. So, 10 years ago, 2016, February, thereabouts. We opened the doors and again, that's where, Josh, you and I really, I suppose, got to know each other. And, I thank Cam for that introduction, but as the branch manager and I suppose looking at key relationships and the growth of the business. Josh was a key part of that. And when we learnt of, what he was, I think I looped me in relatively early, obviously not super early, but relatively early. And it was pretty clear that he's somebody who probably shares a lot of values around success and growth. And that was sort of where I was playing at in that time in the Dahlsens world, having a new store to set the standard. And then we did a really fantastic job in those early years. You guys still do a fantastic job now. Not as good as your brother did, but we're
debatable, very debatable.
We'll see how we go. But, there's lots of things that happened across that journey. So,
and you're definitely right there. I reckon one of the earliest suppliers sort of trades, if you like, that we spoke to was yourself and said, hey, we're going into this.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had a bit of knowledge of other GJs that
Correct.
Dahlsens traded with at the time. And I suppose you probably didn't have to, but I think from that point on, you guys really treated me as way bigger, if you like, than we really were. Like we still weren't really doing anything.
Yeah.
We'd started.
Yeah.
But, I suppose, like I say, that what was brought to the table and what Dahlsens basically opened the doors to us and backed us.
Yeah.
So was that the mentality when you wanted a supplier to do the whole house, or not the whole house, like most of the out of the supplier? Because you see some builders that try and shop around as a better thing, but was it always the goal to have?
Yes, there was a level of comfort there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a known quantity.
Yeah.
We'd only ever bought stuff from Dahlsens or, back in the days, Hastings in Warragul for the real old schoolers who would know it, buying your nails in bags off the scale. And
geez.
So, like, it was just what you knew.
Yeah.
It was what we'd been brought up with. It's like a lot of trades will favour a particular tool brand because that's what the guys that were above them had. Well, he used Makita, so that's what I used. So there was a level of comfort there. It was probably a safe feeling, if you like.
And although Dahlsens is an old business, been around for 100 and something years now, the reality is the Warragul store and GJ's Warragul was new.
Correct.
We were both in the same phase.
Probably at a changing of the guard type.
Correct. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Changing of eras.
Yeah.
You've gone from having some pretty well-known, older standing managers of that business, with the Maccas of the world.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And those sorts of things. And I suppose at that point too, a lot of builders, or older builders, probably starting to retire, and there was a real shift. So here you've got, two, pretty much the same age, late 20-year-olds really starting to take a step forward.
We were late 20s actually, now I think about it. Yeah, absolutely.
And like I say, it was safety, it was known, it's not broken, so why change it?
Yeah, and it was clear to us that our success was going to be Josh's success and Josh's success was going to be our success.
Yeah.
And we knew that the more that we could support was going to support the growth of our business. And I think, again, it just comes back to that GJ Gardner name as not so much a volume builder, but a well-known brand that works, that has that supportive mechanisms in play, and something that we knew that we could back. We weren't just backing and supporting anything or anyone. And I think that's really aligned, as Josh touched on. There's other businesses and GJ Network that deal with Dahlsens, and you pick up the phone and say, you'll be right, no dramas, like work with these guys, great systems, great processes, and vice versa as well. Josh could make the same phone calls. Even though he had a great knowledge of our business, it was probably also another comfort piece to go, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I'm setting myself up for success.
Yeah, you could see that, I suppose. When I've been there for 8 years now, and just started as a jockey in the truck, but you could see that evolution with me coming through the ranks and everything as well was, the growth was from the store together and you guys as well. It was really cool to see, actually.
Yeah, and Josh touched on in episode 1, been a lot of mistakes and there's been some great successes and stuff like that. And again, it's that shared experience, Dahlsens supported and backed Josh and still does to this day
absolutely.
Around the mistakes and the wrong this or the wrong that, or hey, I've forgotten this or I've forgotten that. And, we're way more organised now than we ever were in the start. But again, it was just understanding that if Josh picked the phone up and said, hey, mate, I need a favour, it's like, okay, I know this needs a favour and this is in everyone's interest. So it's pretty cool to be sitting back here today and reflecting on the journey. Again, to me, it's still early. We've got a long way to go. But,
but a part of that journey was you took off this shirt that I'm wearing now and put on the one you've got now.
Yeah.
So I suppose start with you, Trav. How did that come about?
To me, I've been with Dahlsens for the best part of a broken 10 years and I'd absolutely enjoyed every moment of it. like Josh, there were some really hard times and some, some mistakes made and some really fantastic achievements as well. We were a young store. I was at the time, from memory, one of the youngest branch managers with probably a pretty young team. We were able to achieve some amazing goals and standing within the business and being respected. And to me, respect and reputation is super important. COVID hit. And I hate referencing COVID because COVID's been and gone, doesn't exist anymore, as we talk about all the time. But, there's some pretty deep-rooted scars. It was really challenging at the time. I was managing the Warragul and the Traralgon store, so I was doing a bit of a hybrid role, and it was challenging, yeah. So for me, it was like, okay, a pivotal point, again, touching on episode 1, Josh's pivotal moment, around where to next, what next. It was a bit like that for me, and I'd sort of decided to move into a different role. I'd spoken up and said, time for a different challenge. Dahlsens, what can you find me? What can we do? And I was fortunate enough that, we were able to come to an arrangement. It was going to sort of see me work semi-interstate and in Victoria in the businesses. And I was all keen for that. Set the store up, employed the new manager, guided, supported yourself in the journey, Shawnee, and the rest of the team. And I was comfortable. I can remember the moment clearly. It was like someone lifted 10 tons off my shoulders, and I went, I can let go now.
Yep.
And in that moment, I went, oh shit, I'm not sure I want to go to this next step. It wasn't Dahlsens and it wasn't the role. I think it was big picture. I wanted another challenge. I wanted to learn and grow a bit more. And I was standing at Berwick Mazda. They don't sponsor the show. Berwick Mazda, getting Lauren's car serviced, and I picked the phone up and said, I'm out. And to be honest, the next bit is a bit of a blur. But I remember talking to Josh. I can't remember if I rang him or he rang me, or we had a conversation at some point. I can't remember. But I think there might have also been a little seed of doubt planted in a very strategic way. Maybe, I'm not sure. This is his. He can pick the story up from here. But,
we'll find out. Sure.
That's sort of the evolution for me. Is there was a tipping point, I suppose. It wasn't always going to be GJ's. It wasn't about. I want to go and work there. It was about, I want a new challenge, and what did that look like, and where would I see that being? And that's where the story differs. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, well, this is where I suppose, Josh, you can take off and tell us what really happened.
What really happened? Well, his version of events, please.
So I've always been pretty opportunistic when it's come to employing people. I remember it really, really clearly. We were getting some LVLs delivered to a job in Chesterfield. I'm pretty sure we'd made his stuff up on, and we needed some extras. And Trav actually come and delivered them, and I'd met him up there, and he was just like, I just don't know how long I can keep doing this for. And I was like, interesting.
And
I reckon after about 15 minutes, because my brain tends to process pretty quickly.
Very quickly.
I reckon
quickly.
I can't remember. I texted him or called him. I'm like, come work for me. Which caught him, I'm pretty sure, pretty off guard.
Yeah, no, I was not expecting it.
We didn't actually have a role.
But
when there was this comment of I just don't know how long I can keep doing this for.
You picked up on the doubt.
Yeah, I knew that there was the change in the roles coming, and I was like, I really think that suits you, mate. Like you've got a young family, and start doing all this travel. Like it's not a good thing. It's not a healthy environment with little kids, in my opinion.
You
need to be home. You need to be able to spend time with your family. And I was like, right, come and work for me. I'm not actually sure what, but so in my head, I was like, we're getting to the point where we sort of needed a construction manager or something in that space. We needed some more organisation. And so I sort of floated it to him, but he was like, I don't know anything about construction.
No.
I was like, that's not what we want. We want someone who's got a really clever business mind, process, structure, that sort of things. And
good with spreadsheets, I think. You want something with spreadsheets,
I don't think it really took much.
No, it didn't.
After that,
to
really convince you, and you sort of jumped ship.
So I think it was right at that point. It was right at that pivotal point where that weight had lifted off my shoulders. I was thinking more clearly than I had in that whole entire time. And I'm a big believer in things happen for a reason. And the universe works in mysterious ways. And here we are. I
know I was still conscious that, like I say, Dahlsens had been a major part of our business and backed us. So I didn't want to snake them if you like in that sense. So I'm pretty sure we had conversation around
we did,
I think you need to be very clear, and especially with Froudy and some of the guys who had really backed us that we're not poaching.
No, that's right.
Someone,
and I think we both made comment at that time, and you called, I called, and we were very, very open and transparent.
Yeah,
you don't want to burn bridges and damage reputations. But I took the opportunity because at the end of the day, he was leaving the Dahlsens business, irrespective at that point in time.
Absolutely.
So you might as well come over.
And the open and transparency in anything plays a massive part.
Absolutely.
And in my role now, you can see that's if you open that with Froudy's fine.
Yeah,
I mean that's all anyone can really ask from anybody is just that open and honesty. So yeah, for sure.
So we just jumped in and was like, right. I'm like, no shit. Now I've got to. Well, what's he actually going to do?
Yeah.
Need to get all things sorted out now.
We started down that path. Like I say, originally coming on as a construction manager was the title.
Yeah.
And really sort of helped to bring more process and organisation into that. And I think there was a lot of doubt.
Yeah, definitely
inside Trav's own head at that point in time. It's like, I'm not a tradie. I don't know what I'm doing. And I mean, we've had some pretty honest and open conversations over the years where you're like, I just don't think this is going to work. It's not for me.
Yep.
And we sort of evolved the role, if you like, as the business grew, and that was probably the peak where the business was really winding up, because that was 5 years ago.
5 years this October. 5 years this October.
Yeah, so, that was when we were really starting to, I suppose, make a dent in the market and really start to get stuck into it.
I think that we had the foundation of that. We'd built that honesty and transparency in our customer supplier relationship, where having those conversations that potentially don't always happen around that doubt or that journey piece it's harder for some people. It's like for us, we just chat. There's a respect, there's an absolute utmost respect. There's a friendship, there's a working relationship. I think we navigate that really well. I always have. And that was key as well, I think, in my doubt in the journey, even before accepting the role. And
there's been some points of real doubt of I think I'm going to finish up.
Yeah.
Like we've had those conversations.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
And that's where we're like, okay, well, we need to look at the role and evolve the role. And like I said, it was really fortunate that the business was at that point where it needed to move.
Yeah.
We could have sat still, but it's not really me. I get bored really easily.
Yeah.
Ask my wife. She'll tell me.
How many projects on the go?
I can't sit still. So it was like a constant, right. So we sort of evolved it then, and we called it, moved into an operations manager. And I think, to be honest, to you, even just the title change,
definitely,
was a big piece of that, because you had in your head that I'm not a construction person, I'm not a builder.
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't what we were looking for. We were looking for someone to take control of the operation side of the business. So we sort of pivoted a little bit, brought in more broad scale, I suppose, pieces into the role, not just construction, looking at overall. And then we've sort of, in our business, we've then evolved. We sort of then brought in, Lockie was sort of transitioning into sales manager as opposed to just a sales consultant.
Yep.
And then, we sort of
Dallas's journey,
sort of looked at, okay, what does the construction side of the business look like? And it really just made sense. We had Dallas, who'd been with us for 5 years at that point, really high performing supervisor, great tradie, just he had that side of the business dialed, but would need support as far as the business side went. And that's where it sort of made sense. And I always wanted to make sure that I could not distance myself, but have layers in there that I wasn't the bottleneck for things not being able to be done. Yeah. Early days it was, I had to be the estimator and had to help the sales consultant. And so when you turn around and go, okay, we've got a sales manager, we've got a construction manager, we've also got that ops manager who can troubleshoot, fill the gaps. And then if other things can then come to me, we spread the load.
Yeah.
And that sort of evolved, over the years. And then when did I go away? Last year?
Yeah.
Last year. We've been planning for a while.
About this time last
extended trip.
Yep.
So I was like, right, we have to have the ability that the business can function really without me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was sort of where we were like, okay, well, we need to, up, I suppose, level Trav up, if you like, in that. And that sort of, naturally, like general manager.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, nowadays, Trav basically controls the complete operational side of the business.
Yep.
Try and spend the bulk of my time helping the sales team if we need to get out on site, look at sites, or out with the construction boys, troubleshooting, helping to educate them. And I suppose it's been really good actually in the last couple of weeks. I actually feel like I've been of value.
Yeah.
Sometimes you almost, and Lockie always says it, you make yourself redundant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I probably almost did to a point.
Yeah.
And then you start to get bored.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, and like we were saying,
Which is where
previous
those doubts.
episode, like,
What's next?
I really want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So you sort of got to find that passion, if you like. But
Yeah.
I've always been a big one, and everyone in the business will probably back it, is that employ people who are better at doing things than you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Trav's way better at that side of things, and Lockie's way better. He's at Dahlsens better. Erin's better at doing her part of the business. And
But you can do all those elements.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why you have the layers.
But they do it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, like I say, it's evolved over that sort of 5-year period from I suppose areas of real doubt and pretty much like, I think I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So pretty much runs the
And what you've just mentioned there about your involvement, that was sort of the way I operated in the Dahlsens world. Was I didn't have the layers. I wasn't smart enough to have the layers like you, mate. And I was doing a lot of things and was involved in a lot of things from a place of passion and control. I'm not going to lie, but I think that's super important as being the face. So that's what I think is really cool about our businesses, or the businesses in general, both Dahlsens and GJ's Warragul, is that the owner of the business, or the person responsible for the business, isn't just sitting behind in the shadows. They're out on site, quality controlling and helping, supporting, guiding, mentoring, and with the customers. Like, that's Josh, he's the owner. It's like, the owner. It's like, he's the owner of this business, and can have a conversation and meet and greet, and as it was in Dahlsens and still is now. You often run into our kids and Josh's kids, and we're a family business just as much as Dahlsens are a family business nationally. It's also a family business locally. And I think there's some real cool connection points there that are just super important to me and to Josh. I don't speak for Josh, but they're super important. Yeah. They're super important.
Reflecting back to the start, it's good to find out that Josh didn't poach you. So just clear that up now.
Let's get that locked and loaded. Yeah. Josh didn't poach you. There was no cash under the table. There was no deals brokered.
That's right.
It was a mutual decision. I made the first call, the first move, if you like.
That's right. Put a lot of things to bed, which is good. So we'll clear that up next time we talk to everyone.
I like this, I think let's dive into this. You're picking on me a little bit. I reckon we should turn the tables a little bit and talk about the dynamic now. It's like, you used to work for me at Dahlsens, but I still see you working for me in this relationship. Well, you do what I say, right? Is that how it works?
It is. And I think that's the only reason. That's the only reason you left, was true. You saw my trajectory and you probably thought that I was going to take over.
Yeah, you did.
Surpass you at some stage pretty quickly, and I'd be sitting above you. But
sure.
The only way out would be to go to one of our biggest customer, and that way you can still boss me around.
Yeah. But it's important though. Like,
I hear some of the
we joke about it.
Here. I still think there's occasionally balance of power that sits on this side.
Oh, there it does. Yes, absolutely.
I need that.
Yeah.
The answer is yes, not no.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, and this is how I would do it.
Yeah. Nah, all jokes aside though, but no, it has been that way, and it's good that we can still work together. Correct. Obviously,
we always have though. I think that our family are pretty fortunate in that regard, and not everybody is lucky enough to say that. But I think with the way that our family dynamic works and our upbringing and values, and I see some similar stuff with inside Josh's family as well in terms of how that works and the supportive network. We can work together. We do work together. And as we have an agreement in place, are we having a brother conversation or a customer conversation? We're praying the conversation pretty early.
Most conversations start.
Sometimes there's a blurry line, but we can separate, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
We can also have honest and open conversations. I learn more from you than you probably learn from me, and it works. It just works. I can't really put my finger on it.
No, we're very lucky. It wasn't that the way at the start, to be honest with you. Yeah. Obviously, I was very lucky to have Trav and yourself take me on. I'd sort of had a bit of big shift in my life. I was obviously based in hospitality, and then just needed a bit of a change. So came on board with Dahlsens. Like I said, just started as a jockey. Yeah, but we did. Jockey?
You're my slave.
I was. Well, that's why we have to have pretty clear grounds. I reported to Cam, not you, because the little brother mentality coming in, even though I knew nothing about building because I was always hospitality. I thought I knew everything. So we did have some pretty interesting conversations back in the day, but it was pretty clear at the start that I was going to report to Cam.
7 times you quit and came back?
let's not go down that path.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Between the car park and the office, there was lots of interesting catch-ups.
Yeah, that's it.
Decision.
Yeah,
That's exactly
Like,
right.
sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, no, I'm sorry too. And yeah,
But no, it was definitely that way at the start. But it didn't take long to realise that, you know, why they called you the Bible, because you did know everything inside and out that business. No, that was good. And I obviously learned a lot with yourself throughout the whole way. So I suppose just touching on a bit of my time with Dahlsens, it was thanks to you and Froudy, I suppose, taking a bit of risk on me in the time that I came through and sticking with me. And yeah, looking now. So I think, just went over 8 years, worked my way through, learned an absolute hell of a lot. But
I think you've had exposure to the GJ business probably more than you realise too, from the early days of, as you say, just jockeying. Well, you know, that's a pretty important role, helping with the deliveries. But you know, you would have been delivering to the sites, you would have been interacting with the supervisors, the trades. So there's an intimate knowledge in that piece of, I suppose, very similar to my journey. Josh, from the start, you've come in halfway through, but have been able to learn and be a part of that whole thing in your own way, to be able to, you know, I suppose you really get that connection, which I think makes your life as the branch manager, I suppose, easier to get what was already instilled or ingrained.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we knew the value of GJ when I was there. Yeah, man. And saying that too, I remember Josh with boots on the ground. Like, you know, and the amount of times you're in the ute with the dogs in the back, you know, ducking in to grab something to get on the site to keep the boys going. So, and again too, that was, you know, I vividly remember that all the time coming through, and, you know, those conversations of, you know, where's Travis, because you'll only deal with the boss too. Yeah, he only calls me when he wants something, which is nice to see.
Well, you're the boss, so
that's exactly right. So the progress is still there, so nothing's changed in that respect. But I completely understand why that happens as well, because sometimes you just need stuff done, and it just gets done. But it was, I remember all the boys coming through, and to see you guys grow has been phenomenal. And
you've been able to be part of, at the end of the day, pretty much the entire growth, going from just, I suppose, a pretty normal customer to one of the biggest customers that would come out of your store.
Absolutely, yeah, and it is, and it's fantastic, and you know, now that I can really instill that and see that from my side, it's, you guys brought us along with the journey. So that was, you know, sitting here now, it's really nice to see that every step of the way, you know, you guys, as much as we're helping and supporting each other, you guys have brought us along with that journey as well. And we've all grown and learned from it.
Correct.
You know,
and still growing and learning.
Yeah, we are. We're still having systems and processes, conversations with different materials and products you're using.
Exactly right. It's not, no one's, you know, saying that that's perfect by any means. No. That's the relationship.
Yeah.
Pricing's always been important, but we've always known, like, if I wanted to and I went and shopped individual pieces, I could probably get them cheaper, but we can't have the relationships we have in that, shit, Sean, we're one length short in cows. I need it. Yeah. Mate, I'll sort it out. You know, like, there's a lot that can be said for that loyalty piece.
Do you think that that's what Dahlsens have been able to do over the years from that partnership piece, is pricing being important, but that serviceability and reliability and support far outweighs?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it was, like I said, pricing's always important, but it's, to me, it's the relationships, you know, and it's similar probably with a lot of our trades. You know, could we go out and get cheaper? Yes. Would it be better? No.
Yeah.
And like, say, long-standing relationships, you know, at the end of the day, we know that we're supporting the store, which pays a lot of people's wages, you know, like, and it's those times where you do make the stuff up, where you just, I really need something. Or, you know, like, we've had times over the years where it's like, hey, Freddie, you know, like, I've had a client that's been late paying us. We're going to be late. All good. Don't
paying you guys. Yeah.
That's right. Like, we're going to be a couple of days late on our account. It's all good. No, you know, like, no worries. So, like, things like that go a long way, and you don't want to burn those.
Yeah.
Dahlsens were, at the end of the day, I sort of say to people, like, they've been almost like a bank for us in the early days. Like, they would back us and support us and understand. And that was obviously Trav at the time, and just talking to him and going.
Allegedly, I didn't actually do any of that stuff.
But, you know, you're a small business. Like, oh, you know, it's rained for a couple of days. We've just missed that claim. You know, like, we're going to be a couple of days. It's all, you know, like, it's all good.
Yeah, I think that's Dahlsens. You know, like that. for the builder, you know, like that's true. Like they are for the builder. Their builder's success is the success of Dahlsens. And I think that they really do see that. A lot of people say it, but they do see it. And, you know, having lived the experience and now being on the other side, I tell you what, that was a huge transformation piece. And all the things that I used to do and say were really challenged and flipped on their head as I became on the other side of the fence. So I went, how did I get away with that? You know, like in saying that or doing that, it's like, that actually doesn't work. So I think there's been a real education piece and still to this day, I'm very much involved with Dahlsens from a head office level or support office level in giving understanding and clarity or trialing various parts and enhancements to the class, your client experience, that I think is I think Josh has said it many times that they've got a really powerful piece here that use it. So like use that example where you've got someone on the other side of the fence that has both the intimate knowledge of both sides now. So I think, but that is true. You know, the for the builder, that is exactly who Dahlsens are. They are for the builder. They support them in every way. There is a line in the sand, and we understand that. Yes, no, there's not really a maybe. It's just yes or no, and we'll support. And then there's a whole lot of stuff that sits inside of that. We could talk about it for hours, but especially around, you know, delivery constraints and coming up with solutions. It's not just no. It's like no dramas. Let's put in the effort and go to site and see what we need to do and how do we get it done without compromising anything.
I know we've had Dahlsens come in, you know, like we're getting materials delivered from another supplier that have turned up with a truck that can't get into the job. So Dahlsens have sent us a truck to put the material onto their truck to then get it into the site. You know, like we're getting frames delivered from a different manufacturer who can't get in because the truck's too big. So 10 minutes later, we got a Dahlsens truck there. We unload onto theirs. They move it into the site for it, you know, like, whereas you could easily just be like, piss off. Like,
no, and that's exactly right. And I think, like you said, that and all that stuff does is instilled with that relationship from day dot, you know, and it does. And it feels through from, you know, obviously from me where I am now to the guys in the yard and the delivery drivers, like they're all integral pieces that everyone can see it throughout the company. So it is. So when you guys are coming up and calling for help, it's not a hindrance, you know, or the drivers understand it and go, oh shit, no worries, GG.
And it's not all the time.
No, it's not.
It's not like we're that unorganized builder or that builder or the relationship that's manipulative, you know what I mean? It's hey, we've got a bit of a challenge. No dramas. What are we going to do to solve it? As opposed to every day it's a challenge. It's like you guys are just doing the same thing over and over. No. This isn't going to work.
But even if it
early days,
you could have those conversations. But it's the same on the other foot too. Like we're far from perfect, so we're comfortable with going, hey guys, you know, a supplier's missed it, or we've actually pulled the wrong stuff. It's on site,
and that's important, right? And that partnership piece, that's super important.
Absolutely,
because we can sit here now as the leaders of the businesses and have those conversations around partnerships and how it works and what does and doesn't, or how we navigate through situations. But it starts exactly there in the yard. Your team picking and packing accurately, and, you know, the non-damaged material and the loading and unloading in a way that is the best outcome for all builders. And I'm not just talking about GJs now. It's how you guys, I suppose, for the builder in that sense of being able to deliver the big package piece, the processing orders in the yard and in the office, and accurately, and all the other things that come with it that everybody plays a role in. Everybody plays a role in.
Oh, it is. It's massive. And like you said, with that relationship too, if there is little juggles or mishaps along the way, it's just having that open conversation of going, actually, shit, we've stuffed up. You know, you guys reschedule, change it, and we go and fix it as much as we can. So, you know, and it makes a massive part of it, which is fantastic. So,
what do you reckon the next 10 years looks like between us and Dahlsens, Josh? Cheaper prices,
large.
Better service.
I would like to hope, like I say, we've got some pretty aspirational goals over the next 10 years. Like we sort of touched on in the last episode, you know, like we're 10 years in. It's time to really ramp it up. Let's go. So yeah, we would want to see, you know, significant growth. We'd like to think that, you know, at the end of the day, we can really cement that, you know, number one customer, if you like, inside that Warragul store. And continue to build on that. We're certainly not anticipating on going anywhere. Let's put it that. But, you know, it's still a relationship you've got to continually work on and not become complacent with.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the biggest thing.
Making sure we're staying true to our reputation and our word and not doing it in a way that is going to undo all the good stuff that we've done along the way. Yeah, absolutely.
And I suppose what excites you about what's coming up, is it, is it the new changes of builds? Is it the new styles that come through? Is it, the new challenges?
I suppose from my side now, and I've touched on it before, it's about we scale the business, which gives us the ability to provide opportunities to our people. I would like to think we can provide opportunities to our team that no one else can.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that, we have to grow the business.
Yeah.
So the business side is really exciting to me now. Like, don't get me wrong, I love building. I like walking around with Riv or London, and they point out and go, "That's one of your houses, Dad."
Yeah.
Like that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, you'd like to see just that continue to grow. Do your kids start to want to come through the business? I'm really fortunate that, like I say, we're 10 years into the GJ business now, but I'm not 40.
Yeah.
So, like I've still got a long time to go. So, like I'd like to think we've got another 10, 20 years inside of this. So, like it starts to build a big
lot of skin in the game still.
Yeah, a big, I suppose legacy, if you like. We've built hundreds of houses.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. I suppose, two other builders out there, what makes sticking with a supplier, reflecting on those 10 years, what makes sticking to the supplier so important?
The key, the biggest one that came through, it was COVID.
Yeah.
COVID was the biggest thing. And even now in the current market,
Yeah.
We're in a similar piece to what was happening with COVID. It's not as severe because the demand profile isn't there. COVID was unique in that you had a ridiculous demand for houses and for product, as well as limited supply ability, which went up. At the moment, what you've got is pricing going up, but the demand profile isn't quite there. But what was evident to us was when times get tough, the people that you stick with back you. And that was quite clear. I had people ringing me going, "Oh, every stick of pine in Dahlsens got your name on it. Can we get some?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that are buying from someone else today, then they're bouncing the price down the road tomorrow. Like I said, they're continually shopping. They haven't got the loyalty. And they're, like I said, there's times like that, things really start to pinch up.
Yeah.
That you guys are just going to go, well, who are we going to cut off first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are we not going to supply first? Well, we're not going to supply the people who only buy from us sporadically as it suits
them. Yeah.
They're not really a partner of our business. And that's probably why we wanted to kick off with Dahlsens first, is they are a genuine partner of our business. Like they've been with us for 10 years in this and have supplied every single house we've built. They've played a part in every house we've built, which is about 210, somewhere around there.
Yeah, pretty incredible, isn't it? Yeah.
And like you guys have supplied, whether it be big or small, depending on the house.
Yeah.
A part in every single one of them.
Every door lock, every bit of cladding.
Yeah.
Potentially some, the timbers and all the bits and pieces. It's all come from Dahlsens, and it's a great point. Like the success is due to the success of the relationship and partnership, and it's not, for us, the most important part from an operations point of view is that it comes when it says it's going to come. It's as per the order that's required. It's accurate in invoicing. It's easy to talk to. You can pick up the phone. Nothing's a problem. That's the solution, right? That's the piece that is not bought by price.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Simple as that.
A few extra footy tickets and things.
Yeah. We don't mind the tickets and the bits and pieces. Absolutely. But yes, no, it's
that's probably a Friday one.
And just make sure you include me in them as well.
Oh, yes, yeah, we need to be supported and driven down there. Yeah. But it's cool. Like, it's actually really hard to put in words, that relationship and partnership. But I think we've said it too many times, to be honest, when they do the revamp or the recap. Sorry, but it's true. It's so true. And we're fortunate that we've got probably a dozen more trades and suppliers that sit in this same category. But that hasn't been by mistake. It's because we've made an active choice to be about more than the price.
Yeah.
We have that same conversations with our clients as well. Like it's the price is reflective of, what we are doing and bringing to the table and the experience and what they're entrusting us with. So, you can't have one message without the other message, in my opinion. But,
absolutely.
everything speaks. We say it all the time. 10 out of 10, everything speaks, no matter what it is. So it's it's pretty cool. Very fortunate.
So I suppose, Sean, you throw it at me. What makes us back you? Let's throw that back the other way, mate. Like what, from Dahlsens' perspective, what stands out in builders to go, what, we want to be part of that. We want to back it.
It's probably that, I touched on it before, is probably bringing us along on the journey. You know what I mean? With that, it's sort of, you feel that you can feel it with everybody within, I suppose, our business. Realistically, if you dull it down, all we do is pick, pack and deliver stuff. But, on the larger scale, like you said, it's nice to come and actually have a look at a finished product. So when, I suppose, us as a store is brought along with that journey with you guys from day dot to finishing a house, not only that, if we do have some concerns, everyone feels heard, because we can have those open and honest conversations with you guys. If it's about, delivery sites, access, systems and processes, it's really nice to, be able to come to you guys with an issue. It's not an issue. It's just a problem that we'll solve, and then be able to get back to them with an answer, rather than going, we're approaching you guys and it's just like, no, this is the way it is and we're done, and it's hard to keep that from the people, do you know what I mean? From the staff, I suppose. And then, you can sort of feel it within everything.
Absolutely. Like we were talking earlier in the week, like we want to make sure that if you're delivering to our site, that your drivers aren't going, oh shit.
Yeah.
This is going to be a pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, sweet. We're going to a GJ job. It'll be easy.
Yeah.
I can jump on the phone if I need to one of the supervisors. I can chat to Phil or Harry or whoever it might be. And it's just not going to be a problem.
No, that's exactly right.
Then your people are happy.
Yeah, it is. And it's even just getting on the front foot too, which is what we're probably working on a bit at the moment now.
We just jumped on the phone with Richard recently, and we've talked about the challenging delivery situations that we've got. And it's not no, it's not yes either, but there's a meet in the middle there that works for every party.
Yeah.
So it's just about having those conversations and working towards a solution.
We're not building cookie cutter.
No.
So, when someone wants a challenging site, it's like, bring it on.
Yeah.
But it brings complexities.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does.
Material into some of these jobs. It's like, are we actually physically going to do this?
Yeah. And it is. And it's a challenge for everyone. And it's an exciting part for us as well, to be able to, like I said, work with somebody that can see it. It's not just get it done, don't care how it's on there. That's your job, deliver it and you're out, and it's, unfortunately, we sort of get that every now and then.
Transactional, it's not transactional.
It's not by any means.
Transactional.
No. So, and again too, like the supervisors coming in, with how much you guys are buying from us, they're in, a fair bit of the time. So you get to know them by names and the people coming through. Yeah. So it's really cool. At the end of the day, we're all paid to do what we do, but to feel like we've actually been able to help you guys on your journey, but not only that, being brought along with the journey. Yeah, it's really satisfactory.
It's not to put words in your mouth, but something that I just taken from it, maybe it's the brother telepathy or whatever you call it.
No, it's just you just not
taking over it.
Exactly right.
It's
done your whole life. Don't stop now.
You're a part of our business as much as we're a part of yours. So there's almost not a relation. There's not a client relationship piece there. It's like it's just one.
Yeah.
There's a united. I don't know. It's hard to sort of, again, put in words, but it's united.
Yeah, it is.
You should probably get that down pat. This is a podcast. It's all about words, but
it's pretty hard for either of us to replace one or the other.
Yeah.
We pull our business out of you guys, and you guys are like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, then how do we replace what you guys bring to us?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
The service, to be able to pick up the phone. Like, say, I don't ring the store. I just ring you.
Exactly right. Yeah.
You probably get the shit.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to ring the store. I'm not going to talk to Ron or whoever. I'm just going to ring you. Like I would have with Trav. I'm not talking to Cam. I'm not talking, I'm just ringing Trav.
And that's good. And it's the way it should be. But in saying that too, without those, I suppose, the pressure and the stress of you guys picking up and leaving, we know you're going to have the open conversations when it needs to. Sort of gives us the ability to do our best work, because we're not living in stress and fear and,
that's right.
And constantly trying to reshape the wheels and, are you guys okay? Obviously, we're trying to bring new products to you guys, anything that comes onto the market, being open. But without that,
that's a really good point.
Constant fear of having to.
And we've been able to do that, recently, like with our slabs.
Yeah.
We set the challenge of, with NCC requirements and energy ratings, having to go to a waffle pod slab, which I refused to.
Yeah.
Just flat did not want to do them. And so we sort of tasked you guys at the end of the day with
a
solution.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which has brought us into the buy space, which has been one of the best moves that I've certainly made as a builder. I would never regret that.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't go to the pods.
But so, and then that grows our business too, because it opens another door for us. Obviously, leading from you guys, it's just another category that now that we know the value of it, that we can, put out to other people, and we grow from that as well.
Where we're sitting today was one of the first ones in that space that we did. But you guys, and we were happy for you. You bought other builders in town,
to look at the job.
That's right. Yeah. So we were happy for you to bring our competitors.
Yeah, correct.
To go, hey, come and have a look at this system. GJs are using it, which then they sort of like, well, if they're using it, maybe we should look at it.
Absolutely, yeah. And
it's bigger than us, right?
It is.
We want to support clients in their building journey and getting the best possible outcome.
Yeah.
And for us, local builders is we're a local builder, a national brand, but there are other local builders out there as well. So again, it's not about us, bigger than us. It's about the client.
Yeah.
And making sure that they're getting the best experience, and whether that's through us or through somebody else, that's that transparency and education piece that us as a business are super keen on. By all means, we'd love to build your house, but if we can help you and support you in that journey, whatever that might look like, that's okay with us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Just stick with the locals.
That's it.
I say it to people all the time. Yeah. We may not be the builder for you, and we're not going to be the builder for everyone. You can't be everything to everyone.
Yeah.
But there's some really, really good builders, Warragul based or, Gippsland based builders. Stick with them.
Yeah.
Don't go to the big volumes.
Cookie cutter stuff.
Cookie cutter stuff. Yeah. Like wherever you can, stay local. You're going to get such, I suppose, a better experience.
Yeah. And as much as we are for the builder, don't get me wrong. Like we don't have that retail presence as some others do, but I will sell everything to anybody. So if you are Mar and Par off the street, if you're doing a little bit of
that's right.
Whatever you need, I've been able to build a most incredible team down there that will find everything and anything that you need. So please come down.
Well, man, bro, 10 years.
Yeah.
I did half of it, but you did the other half.
Second half was heaps better.
Oh, here we go. Look, thanks for being a part of it. It's pretty special. One of the things I miss the most about Dahlsens is working with you every day, but I'm pretty fortunate that we get to do that as well. So we still get to do that. So I'm stoked. But look, we really
have to pay for the coffee now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Thanks, Freddie. But absolutely. Yeah, it has. It's been phenomenal, the whole ride. And like you said, the journey from working in Dahlsens with you, Trav, and then growing and seeing and learning everything to be able to still do it. And then obviously, backing off Josh as well. It's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, mate, we're super grateful. And as we always say, in different forums to this, out and about talking to people along the GJ network as well, is that, if you're a builder out there wanting to look for a supplier in that space, Dahlsens is the person that we would absolutely want you to go and have a conversation with. If there's something that we can bring to the table today, is that if you're looking for someone that's not just about price, and you want to make sure that you get both price and service and backing and support, to us, that's Dahlsens through and through. So again, we are super grateful for that relationship and everything you guys do to us, to the table, bring to the table, and like Josh said, keep the footy tickets coming. But by all means, guys, and anyone else listening, if you're thinking about building a house, please have a conversation with us. We would love to have a chat. And like Josh said, we may not be the builder for you, but we'd love to be able to educate and help along the way. Find us at Instagram at JJ Gardner Warragul. Call us. Come see our display homes. 2 beautiful display homes here in Warragul. Yeah, thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
No, I really appreciate the opportunity, and speak on behalf of Dahlsens. But really, thanks for having us.
Stay tuned. Look forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Bring on the next 10 years.
Cheers, guys.